Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Raw. Your host, Ju, here with you, and this program is brought to you by THQ. And once again, happy Veterans Day, as we begin the next match of the second round of the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championship Tournament. Now we have the Hart Foundation. They are seeded 8th. Meaning they are, at this time, the lowest seed remaining. Well, that is, remaining that have yet to compete, I should say, but you get the drift. Anyway, these two men have made it to this round by defeating Edge and Christian, a team of young rookies. I mean, let me just say this. Edge and Christian, they're a great team. I mean, they've beaten all the up-and-coming teams, or I should say, they've beaten, like, you know, local competitors, and they've looked pretty good, but when they went up against the Hart Foundation, it's just the experience of the Hart Foundation was too much for the youngsters. And I will say, as far as Edge and Christian are concerned, they're going to be great champions someday, but they just need more matches under their belt. But as far as the Hart Foundation, they're ready. And they're going to need to be if they have any chance of beating these two men. On the left is Hawk, and on the right is Animal. Together, they are the Road Warriors. And I will say that, I mean, these are two of the toughest guys that you have ever met, and they have held the championship since the first Super Show of the year. And I will say that just about every team, or actually, there's only been one team that has stood up to them, but have not been able to beat these two men. And, you know, how do I put this? They have not been able to beat the Road Warriors for the championships when they counted. And I'm talking about Kane and The Undertaker, and you know what the sad thing is? Kane and The Undertaker are finished in the tournament, and they didn't win the number 1 contendership match, so they're going to have to wait a while before getting another title shot. So, yeah, unfortunately for them, they're not going to realize their dream just yet, but maybe someday they will. But however, this is a golden opportunity for the British Bulldog, who recently lost the World Wrestling Federation the World Wrestling Federation World Championship. Yeah, the World Wrestling Federation Championship to The Undertaker, and now him and his brother Kane are gone. But this is it's a big opportunity, because if they can somehow get past the Road Warriors, they might have a good chance of becoming the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions. Him and Bret Hart. Elbow right to the head of Hawk. So I had a chance to meet up with a couple of veterans in the crowd, and they were happy to be here. I mean, they followed our show since '69, and it's an honor for... Whoa! Wait a minute. Was the British Bulldog going to try to take out the referee? That would not have been a smart idea for the British Bulldog. I'm not sure what he was thinking there, but that mistake might cost him. I don't know. I would have to think that the difference maker would have to be Bret Hart, because just about everybody else is big and strong and muscly, but Bret Hart is none of those things. I mean, he's the smallest man in the match, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in mat wrestling, because, you know, if should Hawk or Animal be unfortunate to be on the ground while Bret Hart is standing up, yeah, Bret Hart is gonna, you know, slowly but surely pick him apart, body part by body part, but we'll see. On a running boot right to Animal, or to Hawk, I should say, sorry. 1. No, kick out by Hawk. Then a clothesline right to Hawk. And 1. No, kick out by Hawk. Oh, now this is a good strategy. You whip them to their corner and then you do this. An aided crossbody onto Hawk. And what you do is you keep Hawk in the ring while you and the British Bulldog tag out. You know, you keep each other fresh and just beat up on Hawk. I mean, not to say that Hawk is weak or anything, but if you can keep one of them in the ring long enough, you might have a chance to beat the Road Warriors, because I don't see you beating them. There's no real way for them to win unless they soften up Hawk. Or Animal, if it was Animal in this position. And a couple of elbows right to the shoulders of Hawk. If you can take out his shoulders, you have a chance to win. Oh, and I just remembered something. This match, it may be a normal tag team match, except for one small detail, but it's big otherwise. And that is, it's elimination style, meaning if Hawk was to tap out right here, which he didn't because Animal saved him, should, you know, the one who loses a pinfall or is forced to submit, that person has to leave the ring and go to the locker room. Excuse me. That person has to leave the ring and go to the locker room, while his partner will be alone 2-1 against the remaining competition. So, I mean, this match will continue until one team is completely eliminated. So, I mean, right now we have 2-on-2, but it could be 2-on-1, and maybe even 1-on-1 if the one gets lucky and gets a pinfall right away. Anyway, Bret Hart got whipped into the ring, and Animal, or not Animal, but whipped into the steps was Animal, but Hawk from behind got a bulldog. Then a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker onto Hawk. Whipped into the table, and now what's Bret Hart gonna do? I don't like the sound of this. Oh, no! No! Pile driver right through the table! A pile driver right through the table, and Hawk could be finished. As Bret Hart gets right back into the ring, and Hawk is on the outside, but if he doesn't get back in the ring before the count of 10, okay, so he gets back in. Excuse me, he gets back in, but I would have to think the damage is done to Hawk. Yep, Hawk is busted open, and that's not good, because the longer this match goes, I would have to think Hawk would be more and more vulnerable as the match progresses. But he manages to tag out to Animal, who's the biggest and strongest of all of them. But he might have to do this alone. I mean, I don't think his partner can last much longer if he was to get back in. But I believe they are going to keep... Yeah, now it's going to be Animal that's going to be kept in the corner. And an aided crossbody onto the British... Or or onto Animal by the British Bulldog. Okay, I apologize for screwing up there. Okay, let me just move it back a little bit here. A double underhook lock onto Animal. And what's Animal gonna do? Oh, he's got an armbar onto the British Bulldog. Now the question is Bulldog gonna get out of this? Yes, he does. He gets out of it. And a DDT onto Animal. Although I think that might have actually ticked him off. Then again, most everything that you do to Animal will take him off. So, yeah, I mean, you better bring it to Animal, because if you don't, then Animal will destroy you. It's just that simple. And then a takedown onto the British Bulldog. Oh, and then an arm smash onto the British Bulldog. And now he's going to go for an armbar onto the British Bulldog. A kick and a punch right to the left arm of the British Bulldog. Oh, then a hip toss right to the British Bulldog. Well, right now, Animal is doing all he can to help his team because, like I said, Hawk is busted open. He's bleeding, and he might have to do this himself. Oh, then a clothesline right to Animal by the Hitman, Bret Hart. And now he's going to try to soften up Animal with the, with the elbows to the shoulders. Oh, but Animal countered with a takedown. Oh, then an arm breaker right to the Hitman, and that's a little unusual considering that's not Animal's forte, but... Alright, well now it's the Bulldog and Animal in the ring. Elbow right to the head of Animal. And now he tags back in Bret Hart. So yeah, they're doing the smart thing, keeping each other fresh, and any chance they get to double team him, that's exactly what they're going to do. A double axe handle right to, I believe it was the left arm of Animal. Then a sleeper slam right to Animal. So right now the Hart Foundation is pumping on all cylinders. And thrown outside the ring is Animal. And this could get dangerous, folks, as Animal just got Animal ran into the steps and whipped back into the ring is Animal. Okay, now both men are back in. Whipped into the corner is Bret Hart. A kick and a punch once again to the left arm of Animal. And thrown over the top rope and onto the floor is Animal. And whipped into the barricade. And now, wait a minute, Hawk gonna whip Bret Hart into the post. And now Bret Hart... Oh, never mind. Well, now Bret Hart, he has to get back in the ring. Well, he does, but Animal gets out of the ring, and now it's kind of like a game of cat and mouse right now. Okay, well now order has been restored to somewhat. elbow right to the head of Animal. And thrown over the top rope and onto the floor again. Ooh, and a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker onto Animal. Oh, whipped into the steps and tripped. And then Animal got whipped into the steps, tripped, and then ricocheted into the post. Bret Hart gets back in the ring, as does Animal. And then blindsided by Hawk was Bret Hart. I mean, now it's just a mess down there. Then a bulldog onto the Bulldog. Oh, then a shoulder tackle right to Hawk. Oh, wow, whipped into Michael Cole. And if I hadn't mentioned this before, Michael Cole is the son of my best friend, Bob Cole. And, you know, Bob, he's a good friend of mine. And, you know, I do visit him occasionally when I go to Newfoundland. That's in Canada. I go to St. John's to, you know, talk to him and have coffee with him. You know, he's a good friend of mine. But enough about that. Let's get back to this match. Nope. A hammerlock onto Bret Hart. I mean, I tell you, nobody has been eliminated yet, but I have a feeling that when someone is, it might change the complexion of this match. Okay, we just had a few minor difficulties, but you didn't miss much, though. Nobody has been eliminated thus far. But we had a pile driver, and now Animal has been busted open. So both members of the Road Warriors are bleeding. And now a Boston Crab onto Animal, as the Bulldog is going to keep Hawk from interfering and breaking up the hold. And what happened? I believe, yeah, Animal has tapped out. Of course, mainly because of the blood he had lost. And now it's a 2-on-1 match. And it's at the disadvantage of Hawk. Now, if Hawk loses at any time, he and his partner Animal's reign as the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championships are over. Is it? 1. No. Kick out by Hawk. So for Hawk, he has got to beat both the British Bulldog and Bret Hart in order for him and his team to remain the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions. So right now, the Hart Foundation have, you know, they have the Road Warriors right where they want them. 2-on-1. And that person is busted open. So Hawk is going to have to do something. Ooh, and a fist drop right to the British Bulldog. So he's going to have to keep one of them in the ring and not allow them to tag in and out. A suplex onto the British Bulldog. And now a couple of elbows right to the shoulders of the British Bulldog. Wait. 1. 2, no, just a 1 count on the British Bulldog. No, kick out by Hawk. So right now Hawk I mean, his reign as champion, as well as Animals, are in jeopardy. And no, I'm not talking about the television show, even though it's a great show that I watch. In fact, I would be watching it right now if we didn't have this event. But you know what? It's no big deal. I mean, I did have my son to Jew 22 operate the VCR so that way I can watch it when I get back, and that's pretty much all I can do at this point. Anyways, back to this match. So now, I mean, right now Hawk is in trouble. I mean, there's no denying that. I mean, the one thing he has working for him is that the Bulldog and Bret Hart have to tag in and out. They can't come in all at once. Oh no, wait a minute. Small package. 1, 2. No, kick out by Hawk. And a neck breaker onto Bret Hart. But is that enough? 1, 2. No. Just a 1 count on Bret Hart. But from behind, the British Bulldog. And now set up in a tree of woe. And now he's choking him out. Is Bret Hart. And thrown over the top rope and onto the floor is Hawk. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking Hawk is just fighting for survival. Excuse me. Elbow right to the head of Bret Hart, but whipped back into the ring is Hawk. But anyway, both men are back in. Or so I thought. Oh, but grabbed from behind was Hawk. Well, Hawk gets back inside. I mean, it's like a game of cat and mouse, but anyway, Bulldog tags in. Or he tags back out. I'm surprised he did that. Okay, now whipped into their corner. And a Bulldog onto Bret Hart, and now Bret Hart is the one being busted open. 1, 2, no, kick out by Bret Hart. Now it's Bret Hart busted open, bleeding, just as Hawk has been for most of this match. And Bret Hart was going to tag out, but I guess Bulldog was going to try to cut him off, but he kind of ended up hurting his partner, Bret Hart, inadvertently. A backbreaker onto Hawk. And another whip outside the ring. Then a drop toe hold onto Bret Hart. And a pinfall cover. 1, 2, no, kick out by Bret Hart. And British Bulldog coming in and attacking Hawk. Alright, now the Bulldog comes in. Oh, countered. Oh, wait. Small package. 1, 2, no. Kick out by Hawk. I have to give Hawk a lot of credit. He's not giving up. But the odds of him winning are 2 to 1 that he won't. Alright, whipped back into the corner. Alright, let's see what's going to happen here. Drop toe hold, elbow drop onto Hawk. Is that enough? 1, 2, victory, yep. And Hawk could not take the beating anymore. He just could not do it. So, with that said, well, first and foremost, the winning team is the Hart Foundation, but as for the Road Warriors reign as the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions. It's over. So that means upon the conclusion of this tournament, we will crown a new World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champion. But the question is, who's it going to be? But first, we still have one more match in the second round, and then we'll find out who's going to face whom in the semifinals. But the big news is that the Tag Team Champions are finished. But we still got one more match, like I said, and then we have a special match for the veterans, for them to enjoy. Especially like after that match. I'll tell you more when we get to it, but until then, stay tuned.